Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Billy can't catch a break, Lily's power play, and Kyle makes a move. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that big moves are being made in Genoa City. Summer is winding down, but Y&R is still bringing the heat. The Labor Day holiday is on Monday, September 2, and we are getting a new episode of the hit CBS soap. Yep, there is no rerun or preemption, which is good news because the latest preview video teases fans are in for some interesting moments. One involves Kyle Michael Mueller stopping Claire Haley Aaron from leaving the Abbott mansion so they can talk. Perhaps Kyle will follow Victor's, Eric Braeden, orders and fire Claire. We doubt it though because the writers are definitely setting the stage for a Kyle and Claire pairing. It's a safe bet that Kyle finally gets up the nerve to ask the nanny out. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Lily Crystal Kahlo decides to make a deal with the devil, aka Victor. After reeling from Billy, Jason Thompson, trying to oust her from Abbott Chancellor, Lily ups her plan of attack. Lily doesn't hold back, clarifying that she needs Victor's help to destroy Billy. There's no question Victor will be on board with this, as it helps his chance of putting Billy Boy in his place. Now that Victor and Nikki Melody Thomas Scott are firmly in Lily's corner, Y&R fans can expect to see Lily get into boss **** mode to fight Billy for the company. Aside from literally having Victor and Lily coming for him, Billy has been dealing with the fallout of Chelsea, Melissa Claire Egan, cheating with Adam Mark Grossman. Billy's romantic life is in shambles, and his business life is about to take another hit. Chance, Connor Floyd, drops a bombshell on Billy in the preview video. It turns out Chance isn't feeling the corporate world and might be making a career change again. Chance drops the news on Billy in the video, leaving his future in the air. Billy will be in trouble if Chance does bail, especially as Lily declares war. All signs point to it being pile on Billy time, and it will be interesting to see where things go from here as his world seems to be crashing down around him. In other Y&R news, Melissa Claire Egan opened up about how she asked to have Adam and Chelsea cheat, and you can read what she had to say here. In the tangled web of Genoa City, Billy Abbott found himself caught in a never-ending cycle of turmoil. Just when he thought he had turned a corner, another obstacle emerged, leaving him feeling more defeated than ever. This time, it wasn't just one issue. It was an avalanche of problems, each more complicated than the last, all converging to challenge his very sanity. Billy's life had always been a roller coaster, but recently the highs seemed fewer and farther between. His relationship with Lily Winters, once the shining beacon of stability, was on increasingly shaky ground. They had survived so much: scandals, betrayals, and the disapproval of family and friends, but the weight of their past was starting to wear them down. And now, with Lily's ambitious streak rearing its head in the corporate world, Billy was left wondering if their love was strong enough to withstand the storm brewing on the horizon. Lily had always been a woman of ambition and grace, but after stepping into the CEO role at Chancellor Winters, she was more determined than ever to prove her worth. The pressure of leading the company was immense, and though she had initially leaned on Billy for support, she was beginning to see him as more of a liability than an asset. His erratic behavior, driven by a constant need to prove himself, was starting to wear thin. Lily knew that in the cutthroat world of business, weakness was not an option. She had made a power play, a bold move to solidify her position as a force to be reckoned with. But this decision was about more than just business. It was about survival. She had watched Billy spiral one too many times, and as much as she loved him, she couldn't allow his self-destructive tendencies to drag her down. It was time to make a choice, and Lily was leaning towards protecting her own future, even if it meant leaving Billy behind. As the tension between them grew, Billy could sense Lily pulling away. He tried to reignite the spark in their relationship, planning romantic getaways and surprise dinners, but each gesture seemed to fall flat. Lily's mind was elsewhere, on meetings, mergers, and corporate strategies. The woman who had once been his anchor was now drifting into a world where he couldn't follow, and it terrified him. Billy's frustration only grew as he realized that his efforts to support Lily were being met with resistance. She began to question his decisions, challenging his every move, and it felt like she was no longer on his side. He couldn't shake the feeling that Lily was slipping through his fingers, and no matter how hard he tried to hold on, she was already halfway out the door. Meanwhile, Kyle Abbott was dealing with his own set of problems. After his split from Summer, Kyle was determined to prove that he could stand on his own 2 feet. He had returned to Jabba with a renewed sense of purpose, eager to make his mark on the family business. But the shadow of his failed marriage loomed large, and the whispers around the office only fueled his drive to succeed. Kyle had always been seen as the golden boy, the one who could do no wrong, but the truth was he was just as flawed as anyone else in the Abbott clan. He had made mistakes, big ones, and now he was paying the price. His relationship with Summer had crumbled, and in its wake he was left with nothing but regrets and a burning desire to rebuild his life from the ground up. But Kyle wasn't one to wallow in self-pity. He was an Abbott after all, and Abbotts didn't quit. He threw himself into his work, determined to prove that he could rise above the wreckage of his personal life, and as he navigated the treacherous waters of corporate politics, Kyle began to see an opportunity, a chance to not only secure his place at Jabot, but to outshine everyone else in the process. Kyle's move was strategic. He knew that the company was at a crossroads, with several key positions up for grabs, and while others were content to play it safe, Kyle was ready to take risks. He had always been bold, but now he was ready to push the limits even further. He wasn't just playing the game, he was changing the rules. As Kyle began to execute his plan, he kept his intentions close to the chest. He knew that in the world of business, trust was a luxury he couldn't afford. He carefully positioned himself, forging alliances with key players while keeping his true motives hidden. But as he climbed the corporate ladder, Kyle couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction. For the first time in a long time, he was in control, and nothing was going to stand in his way. But as Kyle made his move, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. He had always been driven by ambition, but now, with his personal life in shambles, the victory felt hollow. He had sacrificed so much to get to this point, and while the power was intoxicating, it came at a cost. The more he achieved, the more isolated he felt, and he couldn't help but wonder if it was all worth it. Back in Billy's world, the walls were closing in. He had always been a fighter, but this time the battles were wearing him down. His relationship with Lily was hanging by a thread, and no matter how hard he tried to fix things, it seemed like they were destined to fall apart. And with Kyle making power moves at Jabot, Billy was left feeling like he couldn't catch a break. The weight of it all was too much. Billy had always prided himself on his resilience, but now he was starting to crack. He had lost so much already: his family, his business, his sense of self, and he was terrified that he was about to lose Lily too. He knew he had to do something, but every move he made seemed to push her further away. Lily's power play was a turning point, not just for the company, but for their relationship. She had chosen a path that prioritized her career over their love, and Billy was left wondering if he had ever really understood the woman he loved. He admired her strength, but it also scared him. She was becoming someone he didn't recognize, and the more she succeeded, the more he felt like he was being left behind. As the days passed, the distance between Billy and Lily grew. Their conversations became strained, filled with awkward silences and unspoken words. They were living in the same house but inhabiting different worlds, and neither knew how to bridge the gap. Billy longed for the days when they were a team, but those days felt like a distant memory. Kyle, on the other hand, was riding high on his recent successes, but as he stood at the top, he couldn't help but feel a sense of emptiness. He had achieved everything he set out to do, but in the process he had lost the one thing that mattered most: his connection to the people he cared about. He had always been driven by ambition, but now he was starting to realize that it wasn't enough. In the end, both Billy and Kyle found themselves at a crossroads, each facing a choice that would define their futures. Billy had to decide whether to fight for his relationship with Lily or let her go, while Kyle had to figure out whether his quest for power was worth the price he was paying. As the storm clouds gathered over Genoa City, one thing was clear: nothing would ever be the same again.